Good afternoon, everyone, co-teachers and co-educators. With great pleasure and honor, I welcome you to the second day of this wonderful free webinar series, which showcases the web and mobile applications for the teaching and learning of grades 1 to 11 mathematics. We thank the team of educators who developed these apps and DOST Shared for funding this project. Indeed, the results of this project come to us in a timely manner during this pandemic, when such applications support the teachers in their delivery of online teaching, particularly in the development of independent learning among their students. Yesterday, the Math Plus resources were presented, and the Senso Eskwela Pilipinas web application was formally launched and revealed. Today, we will learn how these applications can be used to develop the higher order thinking skills of your students, and the team will also be sharing how these applications can be integrated in the classroom and in online teaching. We are grateful to the Department of Education, school districts of Mandaluyong City, Marikina City, and Quezon City for their openness and cooperation to take on the use of these applications in their schools. May the partnerships with these districts bear much fruit for the benefit of their students and teachers. I am sure many things were learned and many insights were gathered from yesterday's presentations. I wish everyone all the best in today's sessions, and may we truly embrace the use of this technology as it becomes imperative for us to accept this online mode of teaching and learning, which is here to stay for some time because of this pandemic. Thank you very much and good day to all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Guzon. Now, for some of our viewers, you missed the session yesterday. So we would like to bring back our team leader, Dr. Maria Luis Antoinette de las Peñas. Hello, Dr. de las Peñas.
Hello, Dr. Sarmiento. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to all the teachers and educators who are joining us today. As mentioned by the chair of the Department of Mathematics, we are thankful to everyone, DOST Shared, for all the support. And later on today, we will have a very important event, the MOU signing with the different school division superintendents, as well as with our Vice President, Dr. Maria Luz Vilches. So yesterday, Dr. Jumela, may isa po tayong kaibigan na gusto uli mag-participate sa webinar na ito. Gusto rin niya makilala. Oo. Okay. Lahat ng mga mag-a-attend today. Baka daw kasi hindi naman daw niya nakilala kahapon. Kaya without further ado, let us welcome this special friend of the Math Plus Resources team, who will be our companion this school year and in probably the next years to come. So,
okay.
Hello everyone! My name is Banoy Bilang and I'm from the Math Plus team. It is so amazing to finally meet all of you today. That's right, my name is Banoy Bilang. Banoy, as in the good old Filipino term for eagle, and bilang as in number, or bilang as in count. You've probably guessed it already, but I love math. I enjoy going to school. I love to learn, but that doesn't mean it's always easy. It gets difficult sometimes. I make some mistakes along the way. Oh, but who am I kidding? I'm young. I make a lot of mistakes along the way. But that's okay. I like a challenge and I never ever give up. Because at the end of the day, no matter what outfit I'm in, my most favorite thing to wear is the heart of a true Filipino. A heart that is so excited to help our Filipino educators and be with my fellow Filipino students. That even though they may not be as confident, or they might break a sweat, or just want to fly away when they hear about math or can't solve a difficult problem, they are not alone. Just play our math apps with me and trust me that math can be fun. Math can be engaging. And math is relevant. So please stay tuned with us at mathplusresources.wordpress.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook page at Math Plus Resources. Or send us an email at mathplus.admu@gmail.com. That's all for now. See you next time!
Thank you, Dr. De Las Peñas. Ang cute-cute ni Banoy Bilang. Watch out, no? We're coming up with a partner for Banoy Bilang. Lalaki po siya. And soon, we'll be coming out with a partner for Banoy Bilang. If you have suggestion for his name, for the name of the partner of Banoy Bilang, why don't you send us a chat message, a name for the partner of Banoy Bilang, and watch out for her. Thank you again, Dr. De Las Peñas. Now, to demonstrate using MathPlus apps to promote HATS or higher order thinking skills for grades 1 to 6, we would like to bring back Dr. Maria Alba Aberin, Assistant Professor from the Mathematics Department of Ateneo de Manila University. With her are grades 1 to 6 teachers from Marikina City and Quezon City. Welcome, Dr. Aberin.
Hello. Good afternoon again, Dr. Sarmiento, and good afternoon to our participants to our day 2 of this seminar. Truly, it's an exciting day 2, especially for me. I will not tell you why, but I'm excited to share this with you. So let me share my PowerPoint. Okay, as you will see how our apps, the grade 1 apps are applied, okay, in the classroom, and how they will be promoting HOTS. And I'm sure you're very familiar with HOTS, the higher order thinking skills. So in this segment, we will talk about how the Math Plus Ops can promote this. No? Why HOTS? Okay, why HOTS? Because in the official curriculum followed by the DepEd K-12 program is, at the center of it is the higher order thinking skills. It specifies critical thinking and problem solving as its two goals. And I'm sure you're very familiar with this. I guess it is part of our system already as math educators. These skills demand higher order thinking skills. In other words, the goal of mathematics education in the country is not just to teach students how to follow blindly or procedures, but how to think, how to think. But unfortunately, uh, at most of the times our classroom often promote memorization, rote learning, rules, and procedures. So we want to move away from this because we know it's quite difficult to memorize. No? Imagine there are lots of formulas and algorithms involved in mathematics. So we don't want to emphasize that. Um, Also, it is difficult to learn math if our thinking is not organized. No? A major concept that must be learned, especially in the elementary grades, is the ability to think in an organized way. Kasama na dito yung pagpapangkat, no, ng mga bilang. In other words, learning to think in groups, learning to think of numbers in groups, especially in groups of 10, okay, is important. Kaya nga, di ba, in the grade school, maraming topics ang tumututok sa place value, grouping, and regrouping. Okay. Thus, the Math Plus apps have a focus. No? Tinutukan namin na sa mga apps na na-develop ay ang visualization, organized thinking, estimation, and number sense. No? Kinakailangan kasi ang mga ito para lumawak ang pang-unawa ng mga bata at para matuto silang dumiskarte sa sarili nila kung paano sumagot ng mga math problems. Kasi kung limited lang sa procedure, no, walang leeway, wala silang arsenal ba, wala silang way to move about and find solutions. No? Also, if children can learn to visualize whole numbers in terms of groups, if they can visualize fractions and decimals, then they will be better and be able to understand the rules and procedures they need to remember. Kung marunong silang mag-estimate, sila mismo ang makapagsasabi kung tama o mali ang sagot nila. Okay, so connected dito yung checking for reasonableness of their answers. And all of this, no, we put it in a game-like environment. No? We have designed the apps to be in this environment so that the students can learn while playing. Alam naman natin, di ba, when we are having fun, mas motivated tayo. But not only having fun, but learning as well. So, let's get right to it. We consider this common topic, no, in the curriculum, comparing numbers. And this occurs in all grade level, such that we have this typical task, isn't it? Arrange the following numbers in ascending order. You will see this from grade 1 even until grade 9. Right? So, how can this be how can this skill be practiced or even mastered in a game-like environment? Okay, so we share with you, this was mentioned yesterday, on the ordering favorite game ko ito among the grade 1 to 6 app. Okay. So this game allows children to practice the skill of ordering, but with added feature. No? And you will see that in the game because not only are they able to practice ordering, but they need to strategize how to order the numbers. Okay, so let me show that to you. Right, so here we go. There are 15 chances, meaning 15 rolls. So notice 2 numbers appears and you order it in an ascending order. So may choices ka. Saan mo ilalagay si 21? Si 42? Notice maraming choices dyan. Then 52, saan kaya pwedeng ilagay? Pwede dyan, pwede rin sa far right, di ba? Okay, so roll again. May 36, saan ilalagay? Saan pwedeng ilagay? Any of the two. Okay, 34. 43, wala nang paglalagyan. 34, naulit lang. 62, pwedeng ilagay sa far right or second to the last. Okay, and then you have, anong pwedeng ilagay dyan? Yung 45. Then you win. Okay, so that's the game. So if you notice, pag mali yung position ng number mo, okay, at remember, the numbers that appear are random yon. Hindi mo alam kung anong lalabas eh. So, posible na masyadong magkadikit yung number at hindi na siya, wala ka namang paglalagyan. And then you will run out of spaces and ubos na yung chances mo, yung number of rolls. Okay? So, ayan, we would like to let you experience. So we have some part of the audience, some teachers, to play the game. Okay, they are from Quezon City and Marikina. Okay, Mendoza, Teacher Mendoza, you're there already. You can show your face. Are you there, Ma'am Mendoza? Ma'am Dumelod? You can also unmute para marinig na ako nandiyan kayo. Ma'am Paz, De Vera, and Teacher Rio Dique. 245. Nandiyan na po ba kayo? Shout out lang. Diyan na ba? Sige po, mag-unmute kayo. Okay lang. Okay lang po. Knock, knock. Nandiyan po kayo?
Dr. Avelin, may I introduce them?
Oh, sige, go ahead.
Yes, so yeah, we have guests from Marikina and Quezon City. We have Teacher Eden Arsabal, if she's here na. Teacher Rosemary Mendoza from Holy Spirit Elementary School. Teacher Maristela Dumelod from Mines Elementary School. We also have Teacher Annalisa Paz from Marikina. We also have Teacher Tomas De Vera from Kapitan Moy Elementary School in Marikina. We also have Teacher Emmanuel Ian Rayodique, also from Marikina. So please unmute yourselves and turn on your cameras. Thank you for joining us.
Alright, nandiyan na ba sila? Kasi maglalaro na tayo ng ordering game. Okay? So, sino po ang taga Quezon City? Sige po, pwede kayong mag-unmute. Yan, Sir Thomas, taga Marikina, right? Okay. Pwede pong mag-unmute. Kailangan niyo pong mag-unmute. Yan. Okay. Sir Emmanuel, taga Marikina din. Right? So, kayo muna ang maglalaro. Okay? Nakita niyo po yung pag-order, no? So, mag-point system tayo. Ang point system, yung ilang natirang chances. Yun po ang score ninyo, ha? So, kayo po muna. Pwede kayong mag-usap dyan kung ano yung saan nyo ilalagay yung number na lalabas. Alright po? Okay, so I will roll the dice. Okay, numbers 51 and 15. Saan nyo po gustong ilagay si 51? Sir
F.
Thomas, sa palagay mo? Sa F. So lalagay natin sa F. Alright? Next, roll. Okay. Sir Emmanuel, kayo naman po. Sir, diyan kayo? Oh, Sir Thomas, kayo na lang po ulit. Anong gusto niyo gamitin dyan? $64, 46.
Ma'am, 46 po.
Ano po yan?
46 po.
46.
Apo.
Saan po ilalagay?
Bandang letter D.
Letter D. Okay. Next. Okay. Sino po? Sige, sir. Sino po taga Marikina? Mama. Anyone po from the Marikinas SDO? Yes, sir. Sir
Number
Emmanuel, anong gusto
number
niyong ilagay?
23 po.
Oh, saan ilalagay po? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Sa letter
Anong
B po.
position?
Letter B po.
Letter B. Letter B daw. Okay. Next. Next. 16 chances na po kayo ha. Meron ba? Kaya pa yan. Alin po? Sir Thomas.
Ma'am, 26C.
26. Saan?
C.
Saan?
C.
Siyempre sa C, no? Sa C. Okay, next. Uy, magandang number ah. Sir Thomas.
14, ma'am, A.
15A. Ayan. So ilang i-fill out nyo na lang? 4
Apat.
na lang. Tapos may sana maganda yung lalabas na susunod na number. 33. Wala. Di mo ba? Walang
Wala.
space. Tama? Wala. Actually, pag pinilit nung bata na ilagay dito, hindi yan. Sasabihin niya incorrect order. Okay? Pag pinilit. So ngayon, mababawasan kayo ng chances. Next. Ayan. Oh. Yung, siyempre,
62.
ano?
62
Sir
po.
Emmanuel, saan ilalagay si 62?
Letter
Marami kayong
H
positions.
po. H.
Letter H. Talaga ha? H. Okay. Next. Uy, ang ganda. Pwede. Ano po?
65 po.
65. Saan po ilalagay?
Letter I po. I.
Siyempre sa I. Okay. Oh, 12 chances with 2 spaces remaining. Oops. Wala. Okay. 11 chances remaining. 34, 43. Wala. Naku, makukomplete nyo kaya? Tignan natin. Ala. 36, 63. Ay, 9 chances na lang. Makukomplete nyo kaya? Whoops. Wala pa din? Oh. Ayan, meron na. Meron na. Okay? Alright? Meron na, di ba?
Apo. 50.
52. Okay, isa na lang. Nako. So dapat yung number, pwede dito. Meron kayang lalabas? 65, 56? Ay, naku, wala. 62, 26? Naku, wala pa din. 4 chances remaining. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, 12, 21. Wala pa din. 3 chances remaining. 21, 12. Wala din po. Nako, 2 chances na lang, oh. Tingnan natin kung may magandang lalabas na number. 33. Oh. Oh no. Tingnan natin ang last. Ay, nako, sorry. Tingnan niyo ba? So, do you know? Wala na, di ba? Wala ng position. Okay, so that means po, I'm sorry, you lose. Okay? So, if you notice po, yung pagka win ninyo depends also on how you position the numbers. Okay? So not only are the students taught how to order, but also to strategize. Okay? Now, isa pa. Try naman natin from the QC. Sino po ang taga QC dyan? Paki po show nyo ang face ninyo. Tingnan natin kung magagawa, masosolve nyo. Makakasagot kayo. Ma'am, sorry. Meron po bang taga QC? Paki po show your face na lang po and unmute. Meron po ba? Naku, baka nahirapan silang pumasok. Baka sige, bawi ulit ang ano? Bawi ulit. Ma'am Annalisa, Paz. Gusto niyo pong i-try? Ma'am Annalisa, pwede niyo pong itang inyong camera?
Sorry po ma'am, wala po
Video?
akong camera. Mag-on na lang ako ng speaker. Pasensya na po.
Okay, good.
Try ko
Okay
po.
lang. Pwede
Yes, po.
naman po.
Try ko na lang.
Already? Kayo maka-complete? Okay, ano po ang gusto nyong gamitin dyan?
63 po.
36 or 63?
63.
63, where do I
Sa letter H. H po.
Sa letrang H.
Yes po.
H. Okay, ayaw niya. Yan. Next. Ano pong
26
gusto nyong
po.
gamitin?
26.
26.
Letter C.
Position C. Talaga,
Yes,
ha?
Opo.
Okay. Oops. Umulit lang. Umulit lang yan.
62 po.
62.
We're putting
Okay.
sa letter G.
Ay, saan?
Letter G po.
Siyempre sa G.
Siyempre
Okay.
po.
Okay, next. Ano pong gagamitin nyo?
32.
Position?
Letter E.
E. Talaga,
Yes,
ha? Okay. Next. Ayan. Maganda yung lumalabas sa numbers sa
45
inyo,
po
ha?
ang gagamitin.
Okay.
Letter F.
Position?
F.
F, syempre. Next. Uy,
16.
16. Saan
Thank you
po?
po. Sa letter B.
B. Okay. Then, may 14 chances kayo. Whoops. 22.
22.
Sayang, di ba? Kung yung 16, nilagay niyo
Nilagay
sa
ko
A.
sa A. Pwede na yung 22.
Pwede na yung 22 sa B.
Yes po.
Alright. Okay. Next. Meron ba? Ay, wala.
din.
Wala din. Ito, meron ba? Wala din. Next. Ayan. Good number.
Okay, 12.
12.
Sa letter A po.
The letter A. Next. Whoops. Meron ba?
Wala po.
Wala. Next.
65. Yeah.
Ayun.
Letter I.
Very good. If you notice po, for this case, the largest number is 66. Okay? Kasi it comes,
Kasi
the numbers
from the
come
dice.
from the dice.
Yeah. Oo.
Okay? And the smallest number is 11. Okay. One.
Opo.
Nako. Isang position na lang. Kaya lang,
Hindi alam ko ano lalabas.
wala. Hindi pwede yan dalawa, di ba?
Yes po.
So, next. 33? Nope. Anong kailangan natin? Between 26 and 32.
32.
May lalabas kaya? Next. Oops. Wala din. Next.
26 pa rin.
Naku, yun pa din. 3 chances na lang. 32. Naku.
Pareho pa rin.
Oh, no. Wala na.
Talo pa rin.
Talo pa rin. Okay? So that's the ordering game. Okay? So if you notice, ano siya? Exit muna natin. Oops, sorry about that. Exit natin. If you notice, hindi na siya ordering per se, di ba? Then na-enjoy niyo ba, Ma'am Annalisa and Sir Emmanuel and Sir Thomas?
Yes
Diba?
po. Hindi lang dapat
Yan.
marunong mag-order yung bata. Tuturuan
Okay.
din siya kung
Kailangan
paano
din?
analysis, diskarte, etc.
Oh, discount.
Ang daming
Kaya
skill po
nga,
na madi-develop, ma'am.
yeah, di ba? So,
Yes, ma'am.
actually, pati kayo mag-enjoy dito eh.
Yeah.
pati teacher mag-enjoy dito.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay.
Nakaka-enjoy
So,
talaga. Nakaka-excite siya.
nakaka-enjoy yan. Oo. Now, next, syempre, ano pa tayo? Moving on. Another topic is that of addition subtraction, no? So, di ba, usual natin ito binibigay sa students natin. Isn't it? Ganyan siya. This topic considers various grade levels from grade 1 to grade 6. Dumadami lang yung digits. But we just, often they do not realize the connection of this topic sa mga place values. Okay? Kasi kailangan later on magre-regrouping sila. So we have a second game that I'd like you to play, frame game. Okay, the frame game has many modes. No? Maraming modes yan, as you will see. Tapos, not only that, meron siyang visualization of the thousands, of the hundreds, tens, and ones. And you can make use of money. Meron din picture involved. Okay? So, ito, meron kang target number. Kunyari dito, 688. Tapos, magsisimula ka sa 1,495. Okay, how will you get from the current number to the target number? Alright? You can use addition of 1, 10, or 100, or subtracting 1, 10, or 100. Okay? Ready na po kayo, Mendoza? Kayo po ang maglalaro nito?
Sige, ma'am. Yes po, ma'am.
Sige, ano tayo? Frame game. Okay, ito siya. Okay? So, pero dahil teachers naman kayo, mas gagawin nating mas exciting. Okay? So, bakit mas exciting? If you notice, marami po yung modes, no? Merong yung number, pwedeng 1 to 100, 1 to 10, 1,000, until 1 to 10 million. Okay, tapos may mode dyan na pictures, money, or digits. So for us, let's use until 10,000, dahil teacher naman kayo. And we make use of money. And anong gusto nyong level? Ang level natin ay advanced. Okay? Advanced. Okay, so let's play. Okay, bakit po yan advanced? Dahil meron kayong constraint. Ano yung constraint? 12 moves lang. In 12 moves, you have to go from 6,335 to 9,913. Okay, in 12 moves. So, mag-add ba kayo o magsusubtract? Okay, so Ma'am Mendoza, ready? 12 moves, ha? Give me the first move.
Plus 1,000, ma'am.
Plus 1,000. Okay? Next.
Another plus 1,000.
Okay. Next.
Plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000. Okay. Next.
Plus 100 po.
Plus 100. Okay. Next.
100, ma'am. Plus 100.
Apa?
Apo.
Next.
Plus 100.
Okay.
Plus 100.
Okay.
Plus 100.
Okay.
Plus 100.
Okay.
Minus.
Three moves na lang po kayo, ha? Ito po, 3 moves na lang kayo, ha? Okay.
Minus 10, ma'am.
Minus 10. Try natin. Okay.
Minus 10.
Minus 10.
Minus,
Oh,
minus 1.
Minus 1. Kulang!
Kulang.
Kulang! Kulang ka ng isang move. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya most efficient strategy. Merong pang mas efficient strategy. Pero pwede rin, di ba? Magma-minus 1 ka pa dyan para makuha yung next, yung number na yon. Okay?
Opo, ma'am.
Right? So ito po yung frame game. Meron siyang kasamang visualization na nandyan. Alright? Oh, okay. Now, a similar game po dito, may na frame game, the same objective ay itong grid. Grid naman. Whoop. Yan, okay. Yung grid naman. Right. So, notice, marami ang pwede nyong gawin. Maraming options, oh. May whole numbers, decimals, and integers. Okay? So, sabihin natin integers. Anong range? Yan, may different, negative 99 to 100. And let's try the warm up. And we play. So, if you notice, halos parehas lang sa frame game. Now, ang difference, naka-grid siya. Okay? Meron kang, you are at 99, kita niyo po dito, 99, and you want to go to negative 25. Okay? In 16 moves. Alright? So, either you add 10 or subtract 10. Okay po? So, anong gagawin natin? Gusto niyo i-play ulit, Ma'am Rosemary? Pwede? Ang negative 25 nandun sa taas pa eh. So, try natin na. Ito po yung target ninyo, negative 25. Nasa 99 kayo.
Minus 10 po, ma'am.
Minus 10. So if you notice, pag nag-minus 10, umakyat sa 89. Tapos?
Minus 10.
Minus 10. Siyempre, minus 10 ulit.
10.
Oh,
Minus 10.
10. 10. Ako, bumaba na natin. 10.
10.
10. 10.
10. 10.
10. Okay, pagpansin nyo, nag-negative na siya. Okay?
Yes,
10. Ano gusto niyo po?
Minus 10 pa rin, ma'am.
Minus 10 pa rin?
Minus 10.
Minus 10?
Minus 1.
Minus 1?
Minus 1.
Minus 1?
Minus 1.
Minus 1. And, of course, minus 1. Yan.
Yes.
Okay? So, medyo similar dun sa frame game. Na kaya lang naka-grid siya. Alright?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yan. So, and next, so as seen a while ago, marami siyang mode. So, pwedeng pumili yung teacher. Depende sa level. So, actually pwede yan pang grade 1 to high school eh. Diba? Alright. So, ang next na game natin ay ito. Target number. Yan. Target number naman. Okay. Ito, for this target number, you will have to get the greatest sum, the greatest difference, the least sum, and the least difference. Okay? This app can also help our students do an estimation. Okay? As you will see. Medyo madaling mode ito ay ang greatest sum. Okay? Pakita natin ang greatest sum. Right? You will have to, ano yan? Do you see the 3-digit numbers? Okay, 847 plus 166. What do? You swap two numbers to make a different number. Okay? Para you will have the greatest sum. Pipili kayo dyan. Ano pong ano nyo? I invite the audience then. Pwede nyo i-type in yung sagot ninyo. Okay? Select two numbers to swap para mag-create ng greatest sum. Meron po? From the other teachers na involved? Andyan po kayo kahit hindi po si Ma'am Rosemary. Meron po ba? Ma'am Annalisa? Andyan pa ba kayo? Sir Thomas?
1 and 7 po.
1 and 7
1
po.
and 7 po.
1 and 7. Okay, 1 and 7. 7. Ay, ba't ayaw mo mag-swap? Swap ka.
Ayaw mag-move.
Ayan, nag-swap na. Okay. Okay na yan? Meron pa ba? Meron pa kayo sa swap? Kung wala na, pwede nyo i-submit. Pero yan na ba yung sagot ninyo?
No po. 6 and 4.
Sorry?
6 and 4 po.
6 and 4 po.
6 and 4. 4 and 6. Yan. Okay? Satisfied na kayo? Sa answer na yan? Do you think that will give you the greatest sum? Yes?
Yes.
Yes na?
I think so. Yes,
I
ma'am.
think so.
Yes
Oh,
po.
okay, we submit ha? We
Opo,
submit. Okay, submit. Submit yan. Congratulations. Okay, you got the best result. All right? Now, ito yung challenge. Kala nyo, madali lang ha? Okay. Tingnan natin. Okay? I will, tingnan natin yung least sum. The same mechanics. Swap. Choose any two, magsaswap sila. Tapos, you select, pag ready na kayo, isa-submit nyo. Dapat least sum. Ay, bakit plus ito? Tama, least sum pala siya. Sorry, I don't want that. Least difference. Sorry. Least difference ang gusto ko. Okay, swap any two na may least difference. Yun po. Oh, yung audience, sige rin. Pwede kayong sagot. Chat niyo dyan sa baba, sa chat natin. Kung tama ang sagot ninyo. Ano kaya ang least difference?
Ma'am,
Okay.
yung 8 po at saka 3.
8 and 3. Ito,
Apo.
8 and 3.
Yung kabilang 3 po.
Ay, sorry.
Apo.
Ito.
Yan.
Ay. Ito. So, yan, okay na ba yan? Okay na yan, Thomas?
Apo. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yan na? Meron bang may ibang sagot? Okay, check na natin kung yan na yung least difference. O, Thomas, wala ka nang babaguhin?
Wala na po, ma'am.
Wala na. Yan na. Yan natin. Oops, hindi. Hindi daw. That's not the least. The least is 3. The least is 3. O, paano ka magti-3? Hindi daw yung least difference yon. No? Akala natin, madali lang yan, ha? So, convinced na kayo na kailangan nyo ng HOTS? Dito? Right? Tama ba?
7
Oh,
and 3.
7 and
3. Ma'am.
which 3 po?
Sa taas po,
Saka?
saka yung 7. Pwede po ba, ma'am?
Saka to. Oh, tapos, ano pa?
6 tsaka 3 po.
6 and 3. Tapos, ano pa? Now, kunyari, ganyan po yung sinagot ninyo, no? Tapos sinubmit ninyo, sasabihin niya, try again. You cannot have negative result.
Ah, okay.
So, hindi pwedeng negative. Ano po pa?
Ma'am, 7-1 po.
7 and 1. Tapos,
And 6 and 8 po.
6 and 8. So, tama na kaya siya? Yeah! Congratulations! You got it? You got it right. Alright? So, how do you find that game? Kumusta po yan sa palagay ninyo? Right? So, I hope you're able to think now, kung saan siya pwedeng ilagay sa inyong lessons. No? Right? So, talagang, di ba, hindi lang siya subtraction. Tama? Kailangan tip. Kung tayo nga, kailangan talagang isipin. And this will really stretch our students' ability and thinking. No? So, hindi lang siya one time magsasubtract. No? Maraming beses na mag-add. Okay? So, let me go back. Thank you so much, Ma'am Rose, Teacher Sir Thomas, Sir Emmanuel, and sino po hindi ko na-acknowledge? Ma'am Annalisa. Sorry kung hindi ko na-acknowledge yung ibang teachers, hindi ko kasi po kayo nakita sa screen ko. But thank you again, thank you as well. If you're there, salamat po sa inyong presensya. So, let me just continue. All right. Okay. Out ko lang po ito. And let me go back to my presentation. All right. So we had this already, the frame game, okay, ito po yung different features ng frame game, no? Merong pictures, may money, and even digits lang. Okay, yan po siya. And then this is the grid game. Yan. In different forms din yan. Multi-level. It depends on what type of students you have. Okay, and as I've said, the estimation is practice in the target game. Greatest difference, least difference for our students. Okay, so as we end this presentation of allowing our students to experience the math class apps, which can promote the higher order thinking skills. And what's more is that we are developing more apps. So check us out at Math Plus Resources, .wordpress.com, or even our Facebook account and Gmail. So thank you. Yep, that's it. Thank you for the opportunity to share the math apps with you for the grade 6, or rather grade 1 to 6. And actually, kahit mong pwede nyo gamitin yan, especially teaching them how to strategize, no? Magkaroon ng diskarte sa, even sa ordering game or even dun sa having the maximum or the least or the greatest, sum, and difference. So check out the apps in the Word Math Resources website and download it. It's easy to download and enjoy the apps for yourself so that you can influence or motivate your students to like it as well. So that's it for me. Turning it over again to Doc Jome Sarmiento.
Thank you very much, Dr. Avelin. Thank you very much also to our teachers who participated in this activity. I would like now to introduce our former student, who has been very helpful to the team in many aspects of our project, most especially in allowing us to reach out to more teachers, not only teachers from Mandaluyong, to give a response and to give us feedback about the use of the apps. We have Mr. Restituto I. Rodelas, Education Program Supervisor in Mathematics, School Division Office of Mandaluyong City. Hello, Resty.
Hello ma'am,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon po. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Okay, isang maulang hapon po sa lahat. Pero bago ko po ibigay yung aking response, shoutout ko lang po yung mga Mandaluyong math teachers na nanonood ngayon. Magandang hapon sa inyo from elementary to senior high school. Sa amin pong Assistant Schools OIC Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Romela M. Cruz, mamaya makakasama po natin. Sa amin pong OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Aurelio Alfonso. Magandang hapon po sir. Sa aming dalawang hepe, Dr. Aline G. Mendoza and Ma'am Emma Arubio. Sa lahat po ng mga kasama natin ngayon, magandang hapon po. In SDO Mandaluyong po, no, we are so blessed to have our partners in education like Ateneo de Manila University, who is very much willing to lend a hand, no, in helping, okay, in helping or improving our classroom environment. So the use of Math Plus apps in our division is not just a trend actually. No, it is an innovation. It is so valuable. It serves a purpose. It is very beneficial in improving the teaching and learning processes. Ang totoo po niyan, sa DepEd Mandaluyong po ay nagde-develop na po kami ng mga video lessons using the Math Plus apps. At ito po mga video lessons na ito, we uploaded those video lessons in our YouTube channel and in our FB page. The purpose is for the teachers to have an access, especially sa opening ng klase. Magagamit po nila ito. Malaking tulong po ito. That's why, as I have said earlier, no, this Math Plus app serves a purpose. Hindi naman natin hinihiling, but very timely na kung kailan na-develop itong Math Plus apps to, kailangan naman natin sa panahon ngayon. And good thing also about this Math Plus apps, no, the utilization of these apps has contributed a lot to the knowledge development and technical skills. I would say that awareness and utilization of the basics and trends like Math Plus apps are important, no, in ensuring that every teacher is not left behind as regards to the different strategies, to relevant strategies relating to the use of these apps and other platforms. The use of these apps also will help teachers, no, progress in enhancing their teaching styles and also help in improving students' performance. Kaya napakalaking tulong po, no, ng Math Plus apps na ito na libre lang ibinibigay sa atin ng Ateneo de Manila University. At napaka-bless ng Mandaluyong kasi isa kami sa naging partners ng Ateneo. And let me share this quote from Sydney Harris. Ang sabi ni Sydney Harris, the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. As catalyst of education, as catalyst of change in our division or in education, we are challenged to keep our learning and growing and provide a glimpse of better future, a better purpose for our students by heeding the call to bring the K-12 version of progressive and transformative education to reality. Kaya muli, nagpapasalamat kami sa Ateneo de Manila University. Napakalaking tulong po ng Math Plus apps para sa amin, hindi lang para sa mga guro, maging sa mga bata po. Muli, maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, Resty. We also would like to recognize the presence of Dr. Corpus, School Division Superintendent of Quezon City. Now to introduce the next portion of our program, we have Dr. Mark Tolentino and Dr. Mark Loyola. will tell us about integrating Senso Eskwela Pilipinas into the classroom.
Hello everyone, good afternoon once again. Hello Mark.
Hello, magandang hapon po ulit sa ating mga audience, sa ating mga guro at mga administrator, to my fellow educators. Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome back to the Senso Eskwela Pilipinas at iba pa, introducing the Math Plus apps. So yesterday, Mark, so we were very happy to have been able to introduce, finally officially launch our SEP.
Tapos Mark, alam mo, right after natin ma-launch, actually ang dami na nating natanggap na emails requesting for teachers codes and student codes. So we're really very happy sa support ng ating mga teachers dito sa ating project. So gusto lang po namin sabihin na now we're starting to process na po inyong mga requests para as soon as possible, mabigyan na po namin kayo ng teacher codes as student codes.
Yes po. So actually, we're pleasantly overwhelmed with the number of emails that we have received. So yung iba po na hindi pa nakapagpadala ng email and they want to have access to SEP, again, the instructions po are on the screen. So feel free to email us po. Yun lang po, no? So we hope you have your patience as we process the request. So we've started replying actually. So some teachers have actually gotten their teacher accounts already and they can already access the SEP website. So I think we can go straight ahead to our first portion for SEP this afternoon. So as we promised, yesterday, we're going to look at how to download data from the SEP database. Siyempre, ito yung mahalagang part actually ng SEP, that we can retrieve data that we can use for teaching statistics for the teachers and for the students. Pwedeng kanya-kanya rin sila ng download ng data para gamitin nila for their activities, their homework, or kahit sarili nilang practice.
Tapos Mark, pwede ka rin nilang sabayan ngayon, gamit yung ating website, mag-login lang as guest para pwede na rin nilang ma-access sa yung access data.
Yeah. Tama. Yung mga teachers po natin na meron ng teacher account, syempre po, you can log in using your account. Pero kung wala pa po kayong account, you can log in as guest, katulad ng sinabi ni Mark. And you can still follow what we're going to do today.
Yes,
okay, so gawin na natin. Let's show how to access data. So in this screen, again, this is the screen that you will see after logging in as a teacher. So of course, we proceed to Senso Eskwela Pilipinas, and we would just like to reiterate, because exciting din to, no, Mark? Another component of our project, the Assessment Tracking Philippines, is also on the way. So coming soon.
Hopefully magkakaroon din yun ng launching, no?
Oo, so abangan nyo po yan.
Yes.
So punta po tayo ngayon sa ating SEP for now. So, and then once you're in this page, so I'm logged in as a teacher. So let's click Access Data.
Okay.
So para po sa mga teachers, meron po silang dalawang panel na makikita in their Access Data page. So you have the panel for downloading your class data, and a panel for downloading a random sample from the database. No? So yung class data, so ito po yung kung gusto nyong makita lang yung class data of the data of your own classes. So you can do that kasi minsan your activity will only involve the data of your own class. So simple lang naman po yung procedure. This is very simple to follow. So you will enter the class code of your class. So I'm not sure po kung nakikita natin. I-zoom in ko lang. Yan. So ang student codes po natin, ganito po yung format niya. No? So it has 10 characters. So, and then meron dalawang hyphen or dash. And then the class code po will be this portion of the student code. So kukunin nyo lang po yan kung ano yung dun sa student codes na dinistribute nyo sa inyong students, you will get the class code part or portion of that student code, and you input it into this field. So
Okay.
let's say right now, I think we have a class code AAA001. So I'll just input that. And then here, you select which questions you want the data for. So once you click this box below, so the list of questions will appear from 1 to 28. So if you don't want to scroll down, you can also search the questions by typing some keywords. No? So let's say we want to access the questions involving pets. So ayan po. No? So lalabas, mapupunta at the top of the list yung question related to pets, which is question number 9, no? In this case. So just click the box there. You can select multiple questions, no? So hindi lang isa yung allowed. So let's say we want to
So
look
pwede mark
at,
ano yan, no? Mga bivariate data, for example, or multivariate data,
yes.
no?
So kung game, so let's say, so merong question for playing video games, so you can select that also, or Pinoy games. So let's say we've selected those 3, and then once you press search, so medyo maglo-loading po siya, and then it will tell you how many respondents are already in the class, and then you simply click download report. So click, and that will download po the data to your computer or to your tablet or kung ano pong device ang inyong ginagamit, and you can open the file using a spreadsheet application like Excel, or maybe if you want to do it online, you can use Google Sheet, or you can also open it using a notepad, no? Kung pwede nyo pong, kung gusto nyo lang pong tignan muna siya for the meantime. Now, pagdating naman po sa random sample, the process is very similar. So, so merong field for the school year. So of course, isang school year pa lang po tayo ngayon, 2020 to 2021. And then you enter the sample size. Okay, so kayo po bahala. No? So if you want to look at only, let's say 10 size of sample, a sample of size 10, or maybe 100, or if you want all the database, so as you can see here, there's an indicator kung ilan na po ang respondents in our database. Currently, there are 465 respondents. These are already student respondents po, no? Because as we mentioned yesterday, we have partnered with Ateneo High School, and their students were already able to answer the survey beforehand. So meron na pong 465 respondents. So ganun lang po, no? So you enter a random sample size. So let's say it's 50, and then this field is the same, no? So you select which questions you want to download, no? So I'll just select maybe 1 or 2 of them. Then you click search, and then lalabas na po yung ating download report button. And once you click that, it's going to download into your computer. So I think, papakita ko lang po, no? So ito po yung files na aking na-download from SEP. And then if you click that, it's going to be in an Excel file. Yes. Okay. So it will be, you can open it through an Excel file, or through Excel or Google spreadsheet.
So very easy
and
to
then
use
it's
yung
ready
Mark,
na
no?
po for analysis. No? So depende kung anong activity yung inyong gagawin with your students. Okay. So pagdating naman po sa students, if you're logged in as a student, pareho lang po yung functionality. The student, the only difference is the student can only access the data of his, her, or her own class, no? So hindi po siya pwedeng mamili ng klase na ida-download. Yung sarili niya lang section. And then of course meron ding random sample. And of course for guests, they're only allowed to download random samples from the database. Okay.
So very secured, Mark, yung data ng mga students natin dito, no? Kasi pag guest talagang random sample lang, pag student kayong class mo lang, etc. Tsaka wala talaga yung name ng mga students. So talagang very secure, talagang yung data privacy ay masasatisfy.
Tama. Okay, so I think now that you know how to download data from the SEP database, I'm sure the next step now, of course, is paano ba natin gagamitin itong mga data na to for teaching statistics, no, or helping our students learn statistics better. So, to help us, no, with that, we have some special guests with us today. Let's begin with our grade school teacher. So let's talk about first the grade school level. So we have a guest, teacher Mary Rose Villanda from Pleasant Hills Grade School from Pleasant Hills Elementary School from SDO Mandaluyong. So good afternoon,
Good
Teacher Mary
afternoon, Teacher
Rose.
Rose.
Good afternoon, Dr. Tolentino and Dr. Loyola. Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. So, ma'am, can you
po.
introduce yourself quickly? Tell us po ano po yung inyong tinuturo.
All right, then let me just share my screen. All right, okay. So good day, everyone. I am Mrs. Mary Rose E. Villanda, grade 1 teacher from Pleasant Hills Elementary School. I am popularly known by my students as Teacher Rose.
Yeah, so very excited na kami, ma'am, to listen to what you're about to share with us today. So, hindi na po natin papatagalin and we'll give the floor to you.
All right, thank you po. Thank you again, Dr. Tolentino and Dr. Loyola. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And I want you to know that I have already made video lessons using some of the Math Plus resources applications that we've seen yesterday and just a while ago, such as Quick Images Game and Matching Game. I integrated these games in my lessons for my grade 1 pupils. I used Quick Images Game for my lesson about numbers, and I used Matching Game for my lesson about fractions. So you can actually view these videos on YouTube and Facebook during your free time. Now, let me talk about Senso Eskwela Pilipinas. Honestly speaking, when I first learned about Senso Eskwela Pilipinas and knowing that this is a statistical application, I didn't think that I could use this application in my lesson for my grade 1 pupils. Of course, the first thing that will come in our minds is statistics for grade 1? That's a no, no, no. But upon looking at here, okay, at grade 1's milk, fourth quarter, week 8, the most essential learning competency there is to infer and interpret data presented in a pictograph without scales, finding out from the title what the pictograph is all about, comparing which is the least or greatest. And I remember myself teaching my grade 1 pupils the lesson about pictograph, wherein I just presented some data that are not related to them or data that did not even make sense in their everyday lives, just to have some data for my lesson. But we have to remember that in presenting this kind of lesson to our pupils, it is very important that we also involve them in the process of gathering the data, especially the grade 1. Our grade 1 students are around 6 to 7 years old, right? So they want to be involved in the process of learning. In this way, they will become more interested and engaged in our lesson. And one way of involving them in this process is to let them access the Senso Eskwela Pilipinas of the Math Plus resources of Ateneo de Manila University. This application will help the teachers gather instantly the data given by their pupils. You just need to go to the mathplusresources.com and on the Senso Eskwela Pilipinas, click Proceed. And then under Teacher section, you can click the View the Survey tab. This function allows you to view and try to answer the SEP survey that is answered by our students. The responses that you will give will not be recorded in the database since you are the teacher. The survey is composed of 28 questions as shown here in my slide. And you can also view the data gathered by the survey by clicking the Access Data tab from the Teachers section, as was mentioned by Dr. Tolentino and Dr. Loyola. From there, we can get the data that we can use in our lesson. I chose the data that I needed to gather for my lesson. What I am showing you right now is the actual responses from the students who have already answered the survey. The teacher can randomly select the data from our respondents. For instance, I would just like to have 10 respondents or maybe 20 respondents for my specific lesson. On this specific lesson for my grade 1 pupils, I will be using data coming from the questions in the survey as follows. I'll be using question number 9. Which pet animals do you have at home? Write how many of each you have in the box provided. If you have pets that are not listed below, please check others and enter the number of these pets in the box. And here are the choices of our students. We have dog, mouse, guinea pig, bird, exotic pets such as snake, iguana, etc., cat, hamster, fish, others. We have no pets at home. And also, I'll be using question number 10. In the list below, check all the vegetables that you like to eat. And here are the students' choices. Water spinach or kangkong, carrot, okra, radish or labanos, onion or sibuyas, ginger or luya, cabbage or repolyo, potato, Chinese cabbage or pechay, bitter melon or ampalaya, or I don't like any of these vegetables. Since the data or the answers from the survey came from my pupils, they will be more engaged in this lesson. So now I will now be showing a demonstration and how we can use this application in teaching the topic pictograph for our grade 1 pupils. We will ask our students, of course, through the help of their parents, since they are only 6 to 7 years old, they are our grade 1 pupils, to answer the survey. So there is no need for us to ask them one by one of their answers because it will just take too much of our time if we do that. Then, we will gather the data based on their answers. On this lesson, I randomly chose only 10 respondents. Then, we can show them the pictures of their answers, as you can see on your screen. Remember, our pupils will become more interested and engaged when they are involved. In this case, they are really involved in the process of learning since the data that we are using are their answers. We can use this as motivation part of our lesson. We can let them identify the animals that they can see and tell them that these are actually their pets at home. In this case, they will be more excited and eager to find out how many of them have cats, how many of them have dogs, how many of them have birds, etc. From there, we can make a pictograph. We have to let our students understand that in order for them to easily see how many of each kind of animals are there, we have to make a pictograph. So we can ask our pupils to help you complete this pictograph. We can ask them the following questions. How many dogs are there? So they will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there are 7. So the students can draw these on our pictograph. Or if the child will experience difficulty in drawing these animals, they can actually draw symbols for this. Okay, how many fish are there? Let them count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5. Again, let them draw. How many cats do we have? 1. There is only 1. Okay, so let them draw it. And then how many birds do we have? We only have 1. Let them draw it again. Okay. And also, aside from using this PowerPoint presentation when we are having our online classes or virtual classes, you can also try using the Jamboard of Google. For those teachers who have learned about the Jamboard from GEG Mandaluyong and was presented by Mr. Reynaldo Collado, who is also our speaker today after me. So thanks to him, we can also use the Jamboard wherein we can just put there the images of the animals and we can let our students drag those animals and put them in proper places so we can complete the pictograph because it will be more engaging and interactive for our students if we do that. Okay, and also we have to let our students know that what they did is a pictograph. We call it pictograph because it shows data using pictures or symbols. And from our pictograph, we can see that we have 7 dogs, 5 fish, 1 cat, and 1 bird. And after that, after presenting this pictograph, we can ask them some questions regarding this pictograph, like how many of you has pet dog at home? 7. How many of you has pet fish at home? 5. How many of you has pet cat at home? 1. How many of you has pet bird at home? 1. So the topic and the answers are all about our students. That's why we're always using you. How many of you? Okay. Also, we can ask them these questions like which has the greatest number? Dog, because we have 7 dogs. Which has the least number? Cat and bird, since we have 1 cat and 1 bird. What is the difference between the number of dogs and fish? So that we have 7 dogs and 5 fish. So that's 7 minus 5, that's 2. And for their activity or assessment, we can again gather some data from the survey that they have answered. Let's take, for an instance, let's have question number 10. Check all the vegetables that you like to eat. So we can show them again the pictures of their answers. These are actually their answers. And again, let them complete the pictograph as shown here. We can ask them to draw on their own so they can complete the pictograph. Then let them answer again some questions based on the pictograph they made, like how many of you likes to eat carrot? How many of you likes to eat potato? How many of you likes to eat cabbage? Which is the most like vegetable? Which is the least like vegetable? In using this application, it will be easier for the teachers to gather data from our students. One click away and we can instantly gather the data that we need for our lesson. And also, we can assure that students will be engaged in the lesson since the information that we used to create the pictograph all came from our students and not just from the books. So thank you to Ateneo de Manila University for creating useful applications that will benefit not only our students, but also our teachers. So I hope you can also use this application in your next math lesson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teacher
Thank you so much,
Rose.
Teacher Rose. I'm sure marami nakuha mga tips yung mga teachers natin how to incorporate talaga yung SEP sa kanilang mga klase.
Tama yun. And then I really like what Teacher Rose said, that we really are involving the students, no, in the data gathering. Actually, that's one of the key principles of SEP, which is you engage the students more by letting them answer the SEP survey. No? Kasi they feel a sense of belongingness and they're more interested kasi sinagutan din nila yung survey on their own. Now, Teacher Rose showed us a pictograph without scales. So that's for grade 1. So if you're curious, for the other grade levels in the elementary level, meron din pong iba na mga graphs and charts that you can do. So I'll just show some of them very quickly. These are based on the actual data that we already have in the SEP database. So of course, pwedeng gumawa ng pie chart. So this one is, I just took a random sample of size 50 from the database, and then I looked at their hometowns, no, based on the region, and you can see their hometowns here. No? Yes. And then, of course, meron ding pictograph with scales. No? Yung kanina kay Teacher Rose, it's pictograph without scales. So this one is about the social networking sites that our students use. And interesting, from the random sample of 50, 49 of them actually have an account, no? in at least one social networking site. And as you can see from the pictograph, Facebook is the most popular. And then another sample is this bar graph, no, about the time they spend playing video games daily. So as you can see, the most number is 0. No? So there are 12 students who don't play video games in a day. But the remaining respondents are actually engaged in video games every day. So it's also a good idea to tap into their interest in
Mhm.
games to
Yes.
help them learn math. So ang ating pong
Exactly.
mga game type application sa Math
Mm.
Plus are very useful, no, in making them interested in learning math more. Okay. So let's proceed po to our next speaker for junior high school. Let's welcome teacher Reynaldo Casero Collado Jr. from Highway Hills Integrated School, SDO Mandaluyong. Good afternoon, teacher Reynaldo.
Good afternoon,
Afternoon, Teacher
sir.
Ray.
Good afternoon, Dr. Tolentino and Dr. Loyola. Hello po.
So teacher Ray, can you tell us something about yourself po? Which grade levels are you teaching?
Okay. So I am a junior high school teacher at Highway Hills Integrated School. I have been handling grade 7, grade 10, and grade 11 mathematics, especially statistics.
Oh, saktong-sakto pala si teacher Ray dito.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige po. So,
without
wag na
further ado,
nating
Mark, start
patagalin.
na. Yes.
Okay.
Teacher Ray.
Okay po. So good afternoon, everyone. I am tasked to present to you the best ways that I think are possible for us in incorporating SEP or Senso Eskwela Pilipinas for our statistics subject. Now, Dr. Loyola and Dr. Tolentino have already discussed on how we can utilize, on how we can access the data for Senso Eskwela Pilipinas, but let me just remind you that you can access the data by clicking or logging into mathplusresources.com and then logging in as a guest, a teacher, or a student. Also, I looked into the most essential learning competencies for grade 7 and grade 10 because that is the level I am tasked. And I found out that for grade 7, we have these most essential learning competencies for fourth quarter. So as we can see here, it is always the struggle of us statistics teachers to make the students try to understand what really statistics mean. Let's say, for instance, in a traditional classroom, I would be very honest with you right now that in my own ways, I have always been giving them directly the definition of statistics. But when I saw Senso Eskwela Pilipinas, I found out that they can, the students can experience statistics for themselves, for them to be able to realize that what they are doing is part of statistics. And so let me try to discuss some things about statistics. We know that statistics is defined as collection of data, and in one of the lessons in our grade 7 is formulating simple statistical instruments and gathering statistical data, and also organizing, etc., until the measures of central tendency. Now, as we go on with the measures of central tendency, we must first let them experience how they will be able to make their own statistical instrument for them to be able to be engaged more in the lessons. That is why SEP, for me, SEP is already a data gathering tool, which is a statistical instrument, and thus we can work on that and let the students explore SEP using the website given earlier. Now, since this is a statistical instrument, we could be able to make them be engaged by letting the students explore the survey form, describing the survey form, and making their own instrument based from the SEP. This means to say that they can replicate the SEP for themselves, just for themselves, and then let them experience how they can make their own questions. It might be personal questions like how many siblings does their classmates have, how many books do they like, or how many books do they own at home, something like that. So that is already making and formulating their own statistical instrument. And so we already engaged the students in a way that we never imagined na magagawa nila yun. And so, although it's online learning nowadays, it is also important for them to experience the real thing, which is defining statistics. No? So in gathering data comes, of course, the statistical instrument. So this is a sample data gathered from the SEP website. So I have selected 10 respondents for question number 1, which is about the height of the students. No, so as we can see, in most of our books, it is always the struggle of the teachers to just replicate everything that is from the book. Let's say we want to make some exercises for computations or exercises for statistics, and we always look into these books wherein in fact some books are already old enough for us to use, and some books are already not that very much useful because most of them do not contain much examples as much as we want for our students. That is why I am very thankful for SEP for having this. I had the opportunity to explore the website and found out that since we already have about 465 respondents, I can see that we can utilize these data for our students. But then it is really important for us teachers to engage our students in such a way that they might be able to realize that what they are doing is really a part of their real life. No? So once we have this simple data, maybe from using our class code or maybe using the student code that we had from Ateneo, then we will have to convert it into bar graphs as shown here. So instead of just converting a data that they do not even know where they got it, diba? Especially from the books, they don't even know what those data are. They just know na, for instance, if we get something from the book and it says there from the book na these are the data showing the weights of cats, but they don't even realize, they don't even know na yung cats ay hindi nga sa kanila. They know that na, di ba? Hindi sila makaka-relate. But then again, since we are using their own data for this topic, I think it would be very beneficial for us teachers, no? So next one is when we are going to discuss the measures of central tendency. So in measures of central tendency, of course, at the very first part, we will define these three measures of central tendency and then let them have the formula and solve it right away. But what if we have a data or set of data that is connected to the students? And so, di ba, napakaganda ni SEP because the data that we are using is from the students. That is why we can use the data from their height, the data from the weight, age in years, and even age in months, di ba? So what they are solving is actually their own data. Yun yung kagandahan ni SEP. Okay. Also, in differentiating types of variables, let's say, we wanted to discuss about nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. What if, or quantitative and qualitative data, differentiating those concepts, what if let them experience what are these quantitative data, what are these qualitative data by asking them questions from SEP, diba? So these are examples. We have which city or province is your hometown located? Maybe we can discuss this, that this is a qualitative data rather than a quantitative data because it is just a quality. And for instance, like we had earlier, the height and the weight, those are quantitative data because they are quantities, right? So instead of just stating that height, weight, and so on are parts of quantitative and qualitative data, why not let them experience it? That's it. That is the benefit of SEP for me. Also, we have here the MELCs for grade 10. So the MELC for grade 10 shows the measures of position, as you can see here for quarter 4, calculating the measures of position and interpreting the measures of position. So in this way, it is just like the measures of central tendency for grade 7, wherein we can use data from SEP for us to be able to engage our students. No? One way of engaging them is by making them involved. Let's say, for instance, in my class, I always make it like a Mobile Legend class. So let's say, instead of giving them, oh, this is your quiz, students, this is your quiz, or this is your task per group, I say, this is your mission. So you have to save this hero from Mobile Legend, etc., etc. So in that way, I can see the face, wow, si Sir, nag-Mobile Legends ata. Bakit alam niya yung mga topics, di ba? So just like what that strategy is, also in SEP, they are using this strategy which they are interested in. So mas magandang magamit siya in real life, lalo na po sa pagtuturo, and for them to be able to absorb everything, if not most of the topics. Okay. And so, ganun din po, in discussing measures of position, we can utilize these data like height, weight, age in years, and age in months. That's all po, Dr. Tolentino and Dr. Loyola. I hope I have shared something that will be beneficial for our teachers. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Sir Teacher Ray. So very important talaga yung sinabi rin ni Teacher Ray, Mark, no, yung regarding relatability ng data. Na talaga yung data ay nanggaling sa
That's right.
students, therefore meron silang sense of ownership, at familiarity sa data, at makaka-relate talaga sila dun sa kakalabasan na yung statistical studies nila or mga data na kukunin
Tama.
sa SAP.
Tama yan, Mark. And we also hope, as Teacher Ray said, that SEP will contribute to the teachers, no? Because instead of searching for data from books or maybe from many websites or just repeating the same data again and again, pwede lang nilang mag-access ng maraming data from SEP database. So I hope that saves them some time and effort for making more interesting activities for their classes. So thank you very much,
Thank you,
Teacher
Sir
Ray.
Ray.
Okay, so diretso na po tayo sa next part ng ating program. So for the senior high school, we're very happy to welcome on stage Teacher Danilo R.C., Subject Area Coordinator for Mathematics of the Ateneo Senior High School.
Good afternoon, Teacher
Good
Dan.
afternoon, sir. Teacher.
Hi, good afternoon po.
Hi, Teacher Dan.
Yes,
Okay, so I think this is very interesting because actually, the Ateneo Senior High School has already been doing something similar to SEP. So I'm very excited to hear about this. So without further ado, the floor is yours, Teacher Dan.
Hi, good afternoon. Pakilala lang po ako. My name is Danilo R.C. and I'm currently the Subject Area Coordinator for Senior High Mathematics. Dun sa process nung SEP, actually, matagal na namin plano talaga na sana makapag-gather kami ng data to be able to use in our classes. Actually, yung nagsimula ito nung mga few years back when we are using relevant data in just doing our quizzes. So yung mga relevant data na yun, parang mga kinukuha ko lang somewhere. So for example, I started with creating hypothesis testing questions coming from the points scored per game of a certain team. In that case, nung panahon na yun, UAAP yung sikat. So schools like Ateneo or basketball team of Ateneo, UP, UST. So yun yung ginagamit ko na data. Now, in this online setup, yung naging goal kasi ng subject area is to try to make the concept of statistic more tangible for the students. And how do I make a very abstract concept very tangible? It's by using a data that they are really familiar. So, in line with that, yung ginamit namin na survey actually is very similar to the online survey. Yung online survey, tinitingnan namin kung ano nga ba yung connectivity issues ng mga bata, ano nga ba ang issue nila sa bahay, ano nga ba yung mga devices na ginagamit nila. So, hand in hand, para nalalaman namin ano nga ba ang context ng mga students namin ngayon. At the same time, hindi nila alam na yung mga data na yon na na-collect namin para lang magkaroon kami ng context doon sa situation nila, gagamitin din namin para sa lessons namin mismo sa klase. So I will share to you the survey. Hindi ito galing sa SEP kasi before na-launch yung SEP, I think para nagkaroon ng seminar last, kung hindi ko nagkakamali, July or August. Nagpaplano na kami ng survey. So pero hindi pa yata na-launch yung SEP noon. So ngayon, gumawa kami ng sarili naming survey. So I will share my screen or my tab actually para lang makita nyo yung survey na ginawa namin. Very simple lang yung survey. So this is an online learning survey indicating all the sections that we have. Tapos simple lang yung mga questions na nilagay namin dito. So does your home own any of the following? Check all that apply. So ganyan yung itsura niya. Tapos, primary device for online learning, secondary device, how many members of the family share the primary device you use, ano yung access nyo sa internet, ano yung range speed nyo, ano yung specific range nyo, and so on. Tapos yung pinakahuling question is actually, how many members in your family, aside from you, share the internet at home? So in this case, we have 337 respondents. Actually, hindi pa yan yung kompleto kasi dapat meron kaming around 440 respondents. Pero na-separate namin yung iba kasi ibang sheet yung ginamit nila. Tapos, from the data, hinati namin siya into per section. So, paano yung ginawa namin per section? Pinadala namin, kunwari yung klase ko, 11 San Vitores yun, saka 11 Torres. Ginawa namin, sorry, wait lang. Eto, nandito pala. Ginawa namin, inassign namin yung data doon sa mga bata. So, gumawa kami ng problem set. And doon sa problem set na yun, pinadala namin yung data nila mismo at yung data, yung mismong questions namin. Pakita ko muna sa inyo yung result ng data namin. Ito. So, lalabas sa kanila ganito. So, section, wala rin mga pangalan. Ni-remove namin yung pangalan bago namin ibigay sa kanila. So, makakakuha sila ng raw data na very similar doon sa Senso. Ayan. Pero editable to ng klase nila. Tapos, pinadala namin din sila ng questionnaire. The questionnaire is by group ito. So, ang gagawin nila, group of 7, a group of 6, mag-uusap silang 6 to answer all the problems. So, from the data, ginawa namin yung mga questions similar to this one. So, for example, certain concept in basic probability theory. So, ano yung mga tanong na pwede namin itanong based on sa data? So, for example, using the data collected from online learning survey, determine the probability that a randomly selected student is using a laptop or a smartphone as his or her primary learning device. Ngayon, anong maganda dito? Yes, it looks like a common probability problem. But actually, yung probability problem na yan, kailangan nilang gawin, ano nga bang, anong unang tanong, ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng primary learning device? So, isi-sift through nila, saan nga ba sila pupunta kung primary learning device yan? Tapos, laptop or smartphone. So, ang gagawin nila dyan, magbibilang sila or magsusort sila, depende dun sa technique nila. So, yung range ng questions namin will start from basic probability theory, then going into probability mass functions, then nagkaroon din kami ng discrete probability theory. There are 4 questions there. 2 of them are binomial distribution, 1 is geometric distribution, and 1 of them is a hypergeometric distribution. So lahat ng klase ng distribution actually nakuha namin galing lang din doon sa data. O hindi ko pala na-emphasize, I also added expectation and variance using a random variable x. Kasi makikreate sila ng PMF and the random PMF at the same time maghanap sila ng expectation and variance. Gamit lang din yung data na yon. So, at the end, hanggang module 3 kasi, half ng SEM, half ng quarter, up until normal distribution. So, the common normal distribution, random selected student download speed is less than 50 Mbps, greater than 2 Mbps. Tapos, ang catch dito, itong normal distribution problem na to, they will manually solve for the mean and variance and treating as that as the population. So, na-apply pa rin nila yung mga natutunan nila sa junior high lesson in finding the mean and variance of a random sample. Or pwede rin nilang i-apply yung formula na ginagamit natin na expectation of x or expectation of x squared minus x, the square of the expectation of x, and so on. So, ano yung output niya? Magpapakita ako ng isang output. Hindi na ako gumawa ng bagong presentation. Gusto ko lang makita nyo na ito talaga yung mga sinabit ng mga bata coming from the survey. So, from here, ito yun. Tinitingnan ko rin yung Excel file nila eh. Actually, yung Excel file nila, meron din mga slight computation. So, they submitted this output. Ayan. So, they created a PMF. They computed for the expectation and variance. Tapos, they're using the concepts in order for you to solve the probabilities that I'm asking for. Ayan. So, ina-edit nila. Tapos, yung probability na hinahanap ko, nasusolve naman nila. So, ito yung isa sa mga outputs. Meron pang iba, tulad nito. Ayan. So, yung iba, detailed yung solution. Kasi yung iba, in-apply talaga yung probability concepts. Ito yung sa mga L1, probability of L1, intersection I2, and so on. Tapos, probability mass function, and so on. So, lahat yan, galing lang talaga doon sa data na yan. Pero, hindi na into sa problem set yan. Actually, kung babalikan ko yung klase, sa classwork ko, meron kami tinatawag na problem set 2. And yung problem set 2 actually covers central limit theorem, and confidence interval, and hypothesis testing. And all of the data that we're using here will actually come from the same online learning survey na kinonduct nila. So, paano nila kukunin yon? They will treat the sample size of 42, their class, as a sample and compute against the national survey. So, in this case, kung kita nyo po, meron ako nakuhang data na 19.51 Mbps yung internet download speed last April 2019. Ito yung national survey talaga. So from there, i-compare namin yan, ang test sa amin, nagbago na ba talaga yung average internet download speed sa Pilipinas given the data that we got from the 42 students of their class. So dito rin, ito naman yung pangalawa, meron pa yung sa those who own the personal computer. Kasi based on the survey, na national survey, 20.46% lang ang merong internet, yung merong desktop or laptop. So, actually, meron pa, nadedetect din ng mga bata na, parang hindi okay yung sample. Kasi, in the first place, ito ay national sample and somehow may expectation na the students from Ateneo will somehow have at least a personal computer or desktop. So medyo may disparity. So alam nila na parang, sir, hindi yata, hindi maganda yung pagkakasample. Nare-realize din ng mga bata yun kasi they are using their own data they are using their own data in actually solving for a hypothesis test or creating hypothesis coming from the national. So yun yung maganda dito. Tapos, I was asked kung paano ko naman daw gagamitin yung SEP survey. Actually, gumawa ako ng some problem na very similar. So, isi-share ko yung screen ko. Nasaan na yun? Wait lang . Share ko yung screen ko. Gumawa lang ako ng konting sample about the SEP. Ginamit ko yung SEP data. Binigyan kasi ako ng sample of 50 respondents nila Sir Mark Loyola and Sir Mark Tolentino. Tapos, gumawa lang ako ng mga problem very similar. So, actually, yung una kong idea talaga doon sa problem set na yon ay about pets. Pero, nilaglag namin yun kasi mas mahalaga at that time malaman kung ano yung context ng internet nila or yung devices nila. So, pinalitan ko siya. Good thing, yung SEP ngayon, meron sa Senso, meron na siyang about sa pets kasi gusto ko talagang malaman yung sa pets nila. So, for example, ito, isang example. Using the data collected, determine the probability that a random selected student has a dog as a pet but not a cat as another pet. So, ito, pwede sila magbilang kasi yan naman talaga yung representation, dog and not a cat. Or, you can use the concept ng probability. Ito yung isa sa mga concepts ng probability theory na parehas lang naman itong dalawa. And they will discover they should have the same answer. So any of the answers are accepted. Pwede ka rin magkaroon ng conditional probability. Kumari, lives in Pasig given that he or she lives in NCR. So, ibig sabihin nun, out of the data na nakuha ko, 26 kasi yung nasa NCR at 4 doon taga Pasig. So, 2/13. Pero kung gagamitin mo yung concept ng conditional probability, Pasig given that he or she lives in NCR. So Pasig intersection NCR, that's 4 out of 52 over the probability of NCR over 26/52, which will give me the same answer as what I expected if I count it out lang. Diba? Tapos, sa probability mass function, the number of dogs owned, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Merong 23 na walang pets. Kahit anong pets. Or ang pet nila cat or fish or iguana. So, ganun yung result niyan. Tapos, napapahanap ko rin yung expectation and variance. So, meron din akong ginawang problem na geometric and binomial based on the data. Tapos, ito, essential, coming from the data itself, yung mga continuous data, I can still create a probability normal distribution problem about their height, about their weight, and about their age. Which is essential kasi they would know na ngayon na yung probability pala na greater than 17 using our class is this and so on. So, there are unlimited number of problems that we could create from the SEP data, and these are just some of it. Tapos, masaya lang tayo kasi meron na tayong database. Ngayon, hindi na ako restricted lang sa Ateneo na sample. Actually, pwede na ako kumuha ngayon ng sample coming from different schools, or pwede ako talagang mag-random sampling. Di ba? Katulad ng binigay sa akin na data, na random sample naman talaga siya. So, the more na mas maganda mas varied yung sample, the more na mas nagiging maganda yung presentation. Or, kung gusto natin talagang may ownership sila. Actually, ang drawback lang nito, kada isang class, iba yung answer key. So talagang i-effortan mo talaga siya na nagawa ng answer key isa-isa. So ang ginagawa namin, sinasagutan muna namin based on the data bago namin i-release sa kanila para hindi na sila magkakaroon ng any corrections. Lalong-lalo na doon sa mga data na, dahil nga, data nila yon. At the same time, in the online setup, maganda dito, dahil nga hindi pare-parehas yung data, hindi pwede magkopyahan yung mga bawat klase. Kasi magkakaiba yung data nila ng bawat klase. So we expect na magkakaiba rin sila. Well, sir, paano naman yung concept? Eh di okay lang kasi nagturuan sila ng concept. The concept is more important rather than the final answer na kinopya nila. At least nakopya nila yung konsepto, naintindihan nila yung konsepto. Kasi naman yung final answer lang yung kinopya nila. So, yun lang naman yung part ko. Parang ganito kasi yung na-visualize nila Sir Mark Tolentino, Sir Mark Loyola about doon sa Senso. And sana ito ay itong ginawa ko ay nakapagbigay ng concrete example kung paano ba talaga natin siya ma-apply sa ating mga classes sa hinaharap. Ayun lang. Marami pong salamat sa inyo.
Thank you, Sir Dan.
Thank you very much, Sir Dan.
Mark, ang galing na ginawa ni Sir Dan, no? Kasi yung mga
nakakatuwa.
intermediate at advanced na statistics tsaka probability topics like hypothesis testing, probability distribution, central limit theorem, test for equality of means, can be illustrated and learned using data gathered from the students. So sobrang amazing nun.
Yes, tama. And napakaganda ng mga suggestions si Sir Dan. I hope our teachers have listened well, especially the senior high school teachers.
Yes.
I think these are very helpful for them going forward. So thank you very much, Sir Dan, for your time with us. Thank you. Okay, so this ends the SEP part of our program for day 2. So we hope we were able to show all of you how to integrate the applicability of SEP into our classes, whether it's grade school, junior high school, or senior high school. So we look forward to your participation in Senso Eskwela Pilipinas. So let's move on now to the next part of our program. So may we call back our moderator, Dr. Jumela Sarmiento.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mark Tolentino and Dr. Mark Loyola, for this presentation and this activity. I'm sure our teachers got a lot of ideas, no? From Miss Mary Rose Villanda, from Mr. Reynaldo Casero Collado Jr., and from Mr. Danilo C. of Ateneo de Manila Senior High School. Thank you very much again. The next part of our session today is one of the highlights of this webinar, is a Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremonies. It will be hosted by Mr. Christopher Castillo, Assistant to the Associate Dean for Students and Administrative Services for Campus Events Management. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Jume, and thank you for having us over. Good afternoon also to all our guests. It's amazing to see such a large number of teachers, of faculty, being together on a Friday, and I know you were here already yesterday, and learning all of these things. So if I may, I'd like to share my screen for a while. All right. So here, if you could see my screen, here we have Banoy Bilang. Right? Banoy Bilang. I hope you've met him yesterday. The first time I heard about Banoy Bilang, I really found it very cute. And so I said, well, there's a special portion for today, and I'd like Banoy to help me out. All right. So we have, of course, a very good collaboration of the private and the public sector. We have Ateneo working with DepEd, in particular, 3 cities of DepEd. And so there was an actual MOU signing. But of course, given our context, we couldn't witness those things live. So we thought, hey, how can we bring this special moment and share that special moment with you? But before we show to you the MOU signing with the help again of Banoy Bilang, we'd like for our Vice President for Social Development, no, so our Vice President for Social Development of the Ateneo de Manila University, Mr. Rizalino Rivera, to give a few remarks. Good afternoon, Sir Lino.
Hi, good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, to our distinguished guest, Executive Director Enrico Parinigit, our friend SDS Romela Cruz, SDS Cheryl Gayola, SDS Jenny Corpus, Father Bobby Up, if he's around, of course, VP Marlu Vilches, and Dr. De Las Penas, and our other guests. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Noong una pong pinanggit sa akin ni Dr. Ninette itong math app, ay na-curious po ako pagkatapos na-excite nung nakita ko kung paano ito makakatulong sa ating mga guro at mga mag-aaral. At dahil sa napaaga ako ng konti sa pag-log on, napanood ko sa ating mga speakers, sa ating mga teachers, na totoo nga makakatulong ng maigi itong math app sa ating pagtuturo at sa kaalaman ng ating mga mag-aaral. Yung shift to distance learning presents many challenges for us, no? Especially sa mga dating kasama sa DepEd, dahil alam naman natin ang kahirapan at mga hamon ng distance learning. Pero ngayong hapon, at natutuwa ako sa aking napanood sa ating mga speakers, makikita natin na we can rise up to the challenge, that there is hope. Hindi tayo papatalo sa pandemya at sa kahirapan. At yan naman ang matagal ko na nakita sa mga kasama sa DepEd ng 6 na taon na panunukulan sa kagawaran. Itong hapong to ay mahalaga para sa ating lahat, pero personally mahalaga to para sa akin dahil ngayong hapon ay magkasama ang dalawang organisasyon na malapit sa aking puso, ang Department of Education na isang pamilya at ang Ateneo de Manila kung saan ako nahubog at nanunungkulan ngayon. Sa huli, gusto ko lang pasalamatan ang unang-una ang DOST, PCI, EERD as represented by Engineer Enrico Parinigit dahil sila po ang nag-sponsor nitong project na to. Si Dr. Ninette de las Peñas at ang kanyang team ng mga researchers at mga innovators sa Math Department ng Ateneo. Ang DepEd Central Office, sina Yusek Dads, sina Asek Alma at iba pa. Ang DepEd Mandaluyong, pinangungunahan ni SDS Romela Cruz. Ang DepEd Quezon City, pinangungunahan ni SDS Jenny Corpus. At ang Marikina na pinangungunahan ni SDS Cheryl Gayola. Marami pong salamat sa inyong pagpupursige. Sana po ay simula lang to ng marami pang pagtutulungan dahil lahat po tayo ay naniniwala na dapat nating pagsikapan ang kinabukasan ng ating kabataan. Maraming po salamat sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat rin po, VP Lino. Salamat sa pagdalo at sa inyong mensahe.
Salamat, Chris.
So, at this point, I would like to share with you, as we mentioned, the moment of MOU signing. We all know the importance of these documents, no? But at the core of it, it's really the partnership, the collaboration that the parties have promised to each other that they will do for the service of our children, for the service of our nation. And so, if I may, when I call your name, if you may at least turn on your video so that the rest of the participants can see you. All right. And then just follow my lead as we go through the process. So of course, all these MOUs were done between Ateneo and certain districts of DepEd. And so to start, may I call on Dr. Marlu Vilches, Vice President of the Loyola Schools. Good afternoon, ma'am. May you turn on your video, please?
Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
Hello, ma'am.
Lino.
Yes. And to join Ma'am Marlu this afternoon is Dr. Romela Cruz, School District Superintendent of Mandaluyong. Dr. Cruz. Okay, so kindly keep your videos on. And then during the actual signing, we had witnesses, of course, to make sure that everything is binding. All right. And so Dr. Ninette de las Peñas, project leader of Math Plus, was one of them. So ma'am, kindly turn on your video. Together with Ma'am Ninette were Mr. Restituto Rodelas, education program supervisor in mathematics. And if the other witnesses are actually already here with us, Dr. Aileen Mendoza, Chief Curriculum Implementation Division and OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and Ms. Emma Arubio, Chief School Governance and Operations Division. If you're here, kindly turn on your cameras as well. And so we present to you that moment when these signatures were affixed to such an important document that will determine largely the future of our students. And to help us with that is Banoy Bilang. Let's watch this. There you go. All right, wasn't that cute? Thank you, Banoy Bilang, for helping Ma'am Marlu and Ma'am Romela affix their signatures in the MOU between Ateneo de Manila and the Schools Division's Office of Mandaluyong City. Now we'll go on to the next city, but Ma'am Marlu, if you may, please keep your camera on. So of course, as you know, this was a partnership among between Ateneo in 3 districts. And so the next district is Quezon City. And so when we call on Ms. Cheryl Gayola, OIC School Division Superintendent of Marikina, Marikina first, we'll go with Marikina first, together with the witnesses, again, Dr. Ninette de las Peñas, Dr. Elisa Cerveza, Chief Curriculum Implementation Division and OIC Assistant, Dr. Elizalde Q. Sena, Chief School Governance and Operations Division, and Mr. Reynan Ignacio, Education Program Specialist. So again, we'll have Banoy Bilang show us and assist us with the signing. There you go. Thank you, Banoy Bilang. If you did not notice, Banoy is in barong, no? He's even more formal than I am right now, although he is wearing a cap. All right. Now for our last partner, all right, of course, is the DepEd division of Quezon City. So again, together with Ma'am Marlu Vilches, we have Dr. Maria Jeneline Rose Corpus, School Division Superintendent of Quezon City. And witnesses for the signing were Dr. Ebenezer Beloy, OIC Chief of Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Freddy Avendaño, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and Dr. Joel Feliciano, Education Program Specialist. So I hope your cameras are on. All right. And again, one more time, Banoy Bilang. There you go. So thank you very much. If you can unmute your microphones, perhaps we could just give our signatories a warm round of applause. This is a big leap, definitely, for again the future of our children, as Sir Lino mentioned. So at this point, we'll have let's hear some brief remarks from our signatories. We'll start with our SDSs from their respective districts, starting with Dr. Romela Cruz from Mandaluyong. Good afternoon, ma'am. Perhaps Dr. Cruz's microphone is not yet unmuted. Can she unmute herself? Oh, doctor, okay. Perhaps we'll start with maybe there was just something in the connection. We'll get back to our SDS from Mandaluyong. We'll start with our SDS from Quezon City, Dr. Jeneline Rose B. Corpus. Good afternoon, ma'am.
I think they're unmuted.
We'll go first. We'll try now first with our division from Marikina. All right. We have Dr. Dr. Elisa Cerveza, Chief Curriculum Implementation Division and OIC Assistant.
Sir, our SDS, nakapasok na po, nakahabol po.
Nakahabol na po si Ma'am
Opo,
Cheryl
andito na
Gayola.
po ang ating Ma'am Cheryl po.
Okay, great. All right. Maybe Ma'am Cheryl Gayola, if you're ready, ma'am.
Hello po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Medyo nakahabol. We just finished the graduation ceremony, so I apologize for coming in late. And I would like to thank Ma'am Elisa for being here on my behalf. Maraming salamat po to Ateneo de Manila University at sa DOST for choosing Marikina to be one of your partners para po sa ating Math Plus App project. At kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat dahil nadagdagan po yung aming confidence na magiging matagumpay yung implementasyon po ng amin pong curriculum ngayong bagong normal sa education. Alam nyo, sa totoo lang po, we've been simulating since August. We've been involving our learners already in the process para po at least mahasa po sila. At yung una po na iniisip namin na imposible ay nakikita po namin na nangyayari. We're slowly seeing it happen, and we're very glad that we have partners like Ateneo na makakatulong upang mas maging madali ang pag-aaral at mas maging engaging ang pag-aaral para po sa new normal namin sa education. Maraming salamat po sa Ateneo sa inyo pong tiwala at kayo po ay makakaasa na amin pong i-maximize ang utilization po ng Math Plus App kasi bilang isa sa pinaka-challenging na subject area ang mathematics, kailangan po talaga namin ng pantulong ng mga tool para po ang ating pong mga mag-aaral at ating pong mga guro ay mabawasan yung agam-agam na magiging effective po ang pagbubukas ng klase ngayong taon. Of course, ang amin pong pasasalamat ay walang hanggan para kay Yusek Lino Rivera kasi siya po talaga ang laging nariyan para mag-alay po sa amin ng tulong to ensure na ang education sa Marikina ay hindi bibitaw sa aming commitment sa quality. Maraming salamat. Hanggat nariyan po ang aming mga partners ay mananatili po kaming committed sa edukasyon at sa kalidad nito para sa aming mga mag-aaral. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat at magandang hapon po muli.
Maraming salamat, ma'am. Magandang hapon. Hinga po muna kayo. Alam ko, sunod-sunod ang inyong meeting. No? So, hinga po muna tayo. Okay. Maraming salamat. So, we'll now go to our next set of SDSs. We'll start with our SDS from Mandaluyong, Dr. Romela Cruz. Dr. Cruz.
Ayan. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. In behalf of 58,000 learners, 2,300 teachers, and 23 school heads, 24 members of CID, we would like to say thank you very much sa Ateneo. Ang ganda ng inyong regalo sa amin ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this, and congratulations to my CID family under the leadership of Dr. Alin G. Mendoza and our high caliber supervisor in mathematics. This is really a very good project. Statistics literacy, technology innovations for mathematical, rational thinking, statistic assessment, no? Very important ito. At dito po sa Mandaluyong, meron po kaming sigaw, batang mandunong, walang may iwan, kabahagi ng bilang. Kaalinsabay po nito, mando, lingkod bayan, walang susuko, handang lumaban sa hamon ng new normal. Sa advokasya po ng ating CID dito sa Mandaluyong at sa paghahanap ng resources, sobra pong pasasalamat namin sa Ateneo. Ito po ay simula lamang at ito po ay sunod-sunod na sa lahat po ng pwede po naming maging stakeholders. Para po sa laban natin sa new normal, wini-welcome po namin ang lahat po ng stakeholders na makakatulong po sa amin para po lahat ng bata sa Mandaluyong maturuan po ng highest quality ng education. Marami pong salamat sa inyo pong lahat. Marami pong salamat and more power po sa aking CID family. Napakahusay ng ginawa mong ito, Resty and Ma'am Alin. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We love the energy. I'm sure your students as well love that energy when you're with them. Thank you. Thank you. So while we're waiting for our other SDS, we'd like to call on the Vice President of the Loyola Schools, representing Ateneo de Manila University, Dr. Marlu Vilches, to give a brief set of remarks. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon sa inyong lahat. First, I owe apologies because yesterday when I did the opening remarks, in my mind it was Marikina, but I mentioned Makati. So I'm so sorry to Marikina for not mentioning you properly yesterday. So I'd like to make amends by saying, yes, it's Marikina, not Makati. So it's Marikina, Mandaluyong, and Quezon City. I'd like to thank you as well. I mean, I know you've been thanking us in Ateneo de Manila, but I know that any project, no project will succeed if there are no receivers of that project. So I'd like to thank you very much because your success is our success. And I think this project is just going to be on paper if there are no takers. You are the ones who are going to make this, the effect of this project, you're the ones who are going to take this forward. So I'd like to thank you for being our big partners in this endeavor. We know that both you and Ateneo de Manila are very desirous about helping our young learners out there. As I said yesterday, these are the citizens, these are our future citizens, leaders in this country. They will need to get the best education that they can have from us at this point. So, pasasalamat ko, talagang taos-pusong pasasalamat ko din sa inyo lahat. Kasi katuwang tayo dito sa edukasyon ng ating mga young people. So please be sure that Ateneo will always be here for you. It is not that the project has already been given to you and that there's no more support. We continue to support you. And as long as you are ready to receive, we will be there. The recipients of this project, actually. It's not just that we give this away, we're also receivers. We're also learning from being a partner with you in this endeavor. Learning for the education of our youth is our responsibility, public or private sector, it's our responsibility as citizens. So we're here as a small contribution to that responsibility. I was amazed about the numbers that were mentioned earlier, how many teachers, how many students. We are a very small school. And we cannot make any impact without your contribution. And I'm very glad that we are there with you on this and for you. So thank you very much for this endeavor with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Marlu. And well, we were waiting for one of our SDSs, and very fortunately, she was able to come in right now. So we have our SDS from Quezon City, Dr. Jeneline Corpus. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Oh, I really had a hard time connecting. So finally I'm connected. Anyway, to our
I think Ma'am Corpus is well, like all of us know, this happens. We have
as our
connection
partner.
problems. Ma'am Corpus, can you hear us? Ma'am Jeneline, can you hear us? Well, we of course, like all good faculty, we all have backup plans.
Yeah.
Sometimes our plans don't work.
Am I not heard?
Well, we can hear you right now, ma'am. Sige po, please continue. Okay, unfortunately, I think really there's the technical difficulty right now is a bit difficult to solve. Ma'am, we can't hear you, but I can see you.
Okay. So I heard now?
A bit, ma'am, a bit. It's a bit choppy though.
Can you hear me now?
It's a
Can
bit
you hear me
choppy,
now?
ma'am. Yes, a bit. Go ahead, ma'am.
I think she's muted.
We were trying to unmute her, ma'am. Well, okay. Again, as we were saying earlier, like most faculty, we have little tricks and backup plans up our sleeves.
Yeah.
Right? And so to perhaps say a message on behalf of Ma'am
Okay na?
Corpus.
Okay na yata.
She's okay. Oh, we lost her again.
My microphone is unmuted.
Okay.
Am I
Ayun,
okay?
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Great. All right.
Am I okay?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear
So,
you.
yeah, so maybe I will just have one short statement before I lost my connection. So I would just like to thank you, everyone, especially Ateneo de Manila. I know the
Wala.
Ma'am Jeneline, can you still hear us?
Wala.
Okay, well, all right. Maybe we call on. We had one. We had someone who could perhaps give a message on behalf of the Quezon City Division. All right. Maybe call on Dr. Joel Feliciano, Education Program Specialist. All right, from Quezon City. Sir Joel, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Am I here? Okay?
Yes, sir. We can hear you and we can see you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. Sorry, Ma'am lost her connection, so the connectivity is very low. So, in behalf of the Superintendent, Dr. Jeneline Rose D. Corpus, that at Quezon City is very fortunate to have our memorandum of agreement with Ateneo de Manila. Thank you very much for the opportunity of allowing us or giving us the opportunity to work with you, to collaborate with you. And thank you very much for allowing us to use your materials for this coming school year. So maraming salamat po. That's all. Thank you.
Maraming salamat rin po, Sir Joel. And as Ma'am Marlo mentioned and as VP Lino mentioned, no, we are very grateful that you have trusted us, no, to use these materials for your students, and we are very happy and very thankful for you, right? And we're looking forward to what fruits these collaborations will bear. Right? So thank you very much. Again, my name is Chris Castillo from the Leola Schools. Thank you for having me. I'll turn the floor over back to Dr. Jumela Sarmiento. Banoy Bilang says bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris Castillo, for moderating our Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremonies. And thank you very much to our guests, to Dr. Vilches, and the administrators from the 3 STOs. Thank you very much for your participation. Now, as you all know, the webinar has been made possible through our project entitled Technology Innovations for Mathematical Reasoning, Statistical Thinking, and Assessment by the MathPlus team, funded by the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology, Research and Development, and implemented by the Ateneo de Manila University. We are very grateful to DOST, PCI, EERD for giving us this opportunity. And to give us a message, a special message, I am happy to welcome the Executive Director of DOST, PCI, EERD, Engineer Enrico Paringit. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. Yes, good afternoon to everyone. I've sort of caught the last parts of the discussion during your paano ba? Session with the district supervisors and the representatives from the different schools in Metro Manila. I'm quite elated with the feedback that I heard. No? Okay, yeah. So well, of course, we're quite grateful to be having this also cooperation with Ateneo de Manila University. By the way, I'm from the Department of Science and Technology. For those who are uninitiated or unfamiliar with the way how we work, we are from the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, or PSERD. No? It's one of the 3 sectoral planning councils of the department with regards to the development of various science and technology fields. No? Particularly, we are supporting research and development, and of course, this project is one of them. I'd like to thank the organizers of the Senso Eskwela Pilipinas at iba pa webinar series. No? Really, at this time, this is quite timely as it is very important. We appreciate all your presence, no, in this significant occasion, and for staying productive amidst the crisis. I hope that you find the webinar worthwhile as was the different aspects of ICT in teaching learning is expected to create a positive change in our education system. We also recognize the efforts made, of course, by the School of Science and Engineering of Ateneo de Manila University for hosting and organizing this event, and putting together a pool of resource speakers and experts as we have tackled the students' engagement and learning activities using digital technologies. Our country owes a debt of gratitude for the organizers' hard work, commitment, diligence during these challenging times. Of course, we know that the strict implementation of social distancing nationwide brought about by the pandemic has forced us, in schools to go into distance learning, no? And for some of us, many of us, in fact, this is quite a alien concept. Undeniably, teachers are most hit by this challenge as they scramble to migrate their classroom lessons to remote teaching and learning, of course, for our students. I'm sure you've heard a lot about the Math Plus resources. That has been the topic of presentation in the last 2 days. And of course, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Luis Antoinette de las Peñas for introducing the Matinic, or Technology Innovations for Mathematical Reasoning, Statistical Thinking, and Reasoning, which offers a free web application for statistical learning in grades 1 to 10 is it, or 11, and mobile applications on mathematical topics for grades 1 to 10. We know now that this can be readily used by teachers and students in blended and online learning environments, and are also, of course, aligned with the most essential learning competencies, as was identified, of course, by DepEd. We have high expectations for the project. We expect it to help students manage their own learning, monitor their progress, induce creative thinking, and creative, not only creative but also critical thinking, as well as real life problem solving skills. No? With that end result, we expect that no one will really be left behind as students, even from the most isolated communities, well, given the proper access, of course, to some tools that are needed to run the program, will also have access to this learning resource. Even while we continue to advance various educational technologies, because actually that's one of the main thrusts that we have at DOST, particularly at PSHERD. We're always being challenged on, also challenging researchers to come up with better ways on how to best to deliver education materials in the changing phase of one, manner of delivery, two, to availability of tools, gadgets, technologies, and even platforms. And I just like to maybe highlight a few projects that we have supported in the past, not so distant past, maybe, just for us to have a bit of awareness. So, for example, we have this Empathic Space program, which is actually an educational system that teaches children with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, developed by De La Salle University. So the system can be accessed through a mobile device, and serves and a virtual agent that can recognize the facial expression of a child, his movements, his or her movements, and voice, so that it can respond empathically. Supporting the development of learning materials not really new for us. Way back, when we had a boom in the IT BPM sector, yung tawag natin na call center. Researchers from the UP Diliman Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute developed the LEAP, or the Learning English Applications for Pinoys. So this is a computer-based training system to help high school and college students improve their English proficiency. The software contains accent-neutral idiomatic expressions that are also not culture-based. So this is a good learning tool, and we're also expecting that this be adopted also by call center agencies. And then for those who are looking for ways on how to manage schools, we also support pala startups. Startups are small companies, tech-based. And one of the more successful startups that we've supported in the recent years is called yung Wela School System Innovation. So it's a cloud-based computing system, so which improves faculty productivity by 90%. Bakit kaya, because it automates the generation of academic reports and lessens spreadsheets, no? Use of spreadsheets by 75%. This platform allows teachers to upload their existing class record spreadsheets and automatically generate the necessary reports and analytics needed by the school and DepEd. So it also enables parents to track the DTR of their child, notifies them when their child is already in school, and informs them of the latest school news and announcements just in their fingertips. No? So please take note that these were developments or innovations that are taking place and are being offered even during the pandemic. Nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, mas lalo naging in-demand yung mga ganitong klaseng services. No? And then another one is actually called EduSuite, no? So, itong si EduSuite naman, ang ginagawa nito, it uses smart algorithms and AI, no, artificial intelligence, to streamline complex school operations that benefit administrators, faculty, and students. So what does it do? This system automates and facilitates daily school activities, including attendance checking, online enlistment, enrollment, demand forecasting of classes or subjects, no? Smart student advising, and the like. So this has resulted to an increased productivity and efficiency in the school management. Actually, these are examples of systems that are, which are very much in demand right now, no? And we're very glad to be to have supported all these efforts, including of course yung ating nakita ngayong, natutunan natin ngayong hapon na ito, which were developed of course by our researchers from Ateneo de Manila University. We are very much are welcoming of initiatives that will imbibe the spirit of the culture of innovation. As such, we at DOSTP Shared will remain steadfast in providing efficient ICT solutions that will bring more opportunities to teachers and students alike to explore and understand not just mathematical concepts, but also in other fields in STEM. The Council will continuously extend its support to various R&D endeavors that will help uplift the country's education system, producing quality graduates in the future. For example, like this year, we had a call for proposals on gamification of learning. No? So, alam naman natin how pervasive and how prevalent are game applications. So, sabi namin, siguro ang philosophy is, if you can't really beat them, you just join them, no, di ba? So the thing is that we need to develop materials that will sort of gamify the way we gamify materials in history, for example, or in science or in math, no? So that our learners will be very much receptive, no? Because they like to take on challenges, they like adventure, they like elements that that they feel and see in a gamified environment. So abangan natin, no? Let's watch out for these developments, and hopefully we will have this kind of session. Lastly, I'd like to, of course, send again my commendations to Ateneo de Manila University, to Dr. De Las Peñas for really coming up with this kind of effort. You know, when we first had a session with her when she was presenting the project, challenge talaga namin yun na magkaroon sila ng engagement with an actual school, with DepEd, so that we could really have a actual deployment of the things that they are coming up with. Because not all research actually find their way towards eventual adoption, application of the technology, and so we're really just too glad that this had happened. No, it happened at a very unfortunate time, but this is probably a way for us to also demonstrate that, since if we have that necessary foresight, we would be able to support researchers that we might be needing in the future. Imagine if this did not happen, we did not support this research, and we will have to develop this during the time of the pandemic. We will still be uh, be having difficulties, no? So, and we're one with you, no, in this effort to find innovative ways on how to best deliver the educational needs of our youth. So let us find ways to accelerate the exchange of information, disseminate best practices, and take a holistic approach on R&D of ICT and education. To be, all because we want to lay down the cornerstone for changes in teaching and learning at scales. We look forward to continuing good conversations with our stakeholders and transforming these innovative ideas to make policies, programs, and actions and to deliver positive outcomes that would contribute to a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable country. So with that, thank you very much for this opportunity to be having an audience with you. Again, thank you Ateneo de Manila for organizing this event, and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Engineer Paringit. Thank you for joining us in this afternoon's event, and thank you for approving our project. Now, before we close the session today, may I call on our project leader, Dr. Maria Luis Antoinette de las Peñas, to say a few words.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Sarmiento. So first, I would like to take this opportunity to thank DOST Fisher, Dr. Engineer Paringit for the support. As I mentioned yesterday in the opening, we started our project way back in 2015, 2016. It was an idea given to me and Dr. Versosa by then Dean Banja Bautista, how we would help the teachers nationwide as we transition to the K-12 curriculum. So it all started there. And then last year, we started with the second phase of our project, which is the whole digital mathematics framework for all teachers nationwide. So thank you so much for your support. And I would also like to thank the Ateneo de Manila University, who has been very supportive, the Office of the President, the University Research Council, who are also one in us in our mission. They have been funding our projects as well. And Dr. Luz Vilches, the Vice President for the Loyola Schools, who is always there, ready to support our innovative ideas, our research ideas. Mr. Lino, VP Lino Rivera, who has helped us reach out to the communities. Tama po yung sinabi ni Engineer Paringit kanina at ni Dr. Vilches. Yes, all the innovative ideas will just remain on paper, will just remain publications, but without our teachers who will make use of these, all of these digital tools, then all of this will not be worthwhile. So I'd like to thank the three divisions, the district, the school district superintendents who were here today, Dr. Cruz, Dr. Gayola, Dr. Corpus, and the very hardworking teams in each school districts. I would like to particularly thank Dr. Cerveza, Mr. Rodelas, and also Dr. Feliciano. Yan, napakasipag po nila. Kahit linggo, nagtatrabaho po sila, alang-alang po sa mga teacher at mga estudyante sa kanilang mga district. Kaya kami po sa team, nawawala po yung pagod namin kung nakikita po namin kung gaano po ka-dedicated din sila sa serbisyo po sa bayan. And nung naririnig ko po kanina si Miss Mary Rose at saka yung iba pong mga guro na nagpe-present, nakakawala din po ng pagod kung paano po sila napaka-excited po nila at bibong-bibo po, looking forward to how to reach out to our students in the new normal this coming school year. So I thank all of you. I want to also thank the Math Plus team who have been very hardworking. thank you din po sa School of Science and Engineering, Dr. Bautista, at saka sa lahat po ng tumulong. Si Pau, si Winfer, si Cha, sina Aryan, sa Dean's Office, sina Edith po sa Math Department. Thank you po sa lahat. I hope I did not forget anyone. And of course, to God, who is the source of everything. Thank you. Back to you, Jume.
Thanks again, Dr. De Las Peñas. Thank you very much for your leadership. And thank you everyone for joining us. Now to close this webinar, we have the new president of Ateneo de Manila University. Let us all welcome Father Roberto Yap, SJ.
Good afternoon. I am very pleased to greet the participants of Senso Eskwela, Pilipinas. This project, Technology Innovations for Mathematical Reasoning, Statistical Thinking, and Assessment, supported by the DOST, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, is very timely and important. This project aims to create an integrated, app-based mathematical learning environment, Math Plus resources, for Filipino school children for grades 1 to 11. This project is based on research and sound pedagogy to improve the mathematical skills of students. We hope that this project will help to strengthen the mathematical competencies of our learners as we prepare them for the world of the fourth industrial revolution. This project is also quite timely during these trying times of continuing schooling even during the coronavirus pandemic. Aside from developing mobile mathematical apps, the project has also been creating a web app, statistical learning, that deals with real data. The apps are free and can be accessed through mobile phones, tablets, and laptops, computer desktops with very minimal requirements. The Ateneo de Manila is very happy to collaborate with various DepEd divisions to help teachers and students to integrate the apps in the teaching of mathematics. I congratulate the Department of Mathematics of the Ateneo School of Science and Engineering for leading this project. They have conducted several successful webinars sponsored by DepEd divisions, teaching teachers nationwide. We hope that the products of this project will be put to good use by our friends in DepEd. We are glad to have signed a Memorandum of Understanding between the Ateneo and DepEd Marikina, DepEd Mandaluyong, and DepEd Quezon City. The Ateneo assures you, our friends of DepEd, of our continuing assistance in utilizing these educational innovations. We thank you very much, our friends from the Department of Education, for allowing us to partner with you. We have certainly learned a lot from working with you, and we look forward to continue working together in the service of all our young learners. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Father Roberto Yap. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Good evening. Bye-bye.